You know, it's really, really hard to get people with a good work ethic, and so I was really blessed with Steve, because not only did we enjoy, I think, each other throughout the 2 weeks we were there, or a week we were there, what were you, a week?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So a whole lot of fun, and we were down to the last day, and Steve was going to be flying home, and we had completed certain milestones in the project, and you have to keep in mind this is San Francisco in California, so they have kind of a different way of looking at things than the rest of the country does, and so it was getting kind of hectic, and that's good, spitting pizza across the table. He's got to leave at noon, I think it was, wasn't it?
We had an hour. Yeah, we had an hour.
I think he had to leave at noon to go walk to the train to get to the airport to catch his flight. And it's about 10 till 11, and I'm in another building down the street, and he's over there working in the same building. And I get a call from the head engineer in the building that's really irritated. Apparently we have a problem with the trash and the dumpster. I need to come over here to the building, meet with our head of recycling, and iron out this problem. So I come over there to the other building, and the woman who's her sole purpose and her job for the city in this particular convention center is to organize the trash. Trash has to be, it's very really rigid rules in California, especially San Francisco, on what trash goes where. Well, on the loading docks, I was pretty proud of myself. I'm a subcontractor. We got lots of guys working, and we actually threw all of the trash away. And if you're working in job sites, a lot of guys don't do that.
It was a lot too.
And it was a lot.
A lot of boxes.
A lot. And in fact, so much so that they had a 30-yard dumpster. You know how big those is? It's like a trailer truck kind of thing. 30-yard dumpster, completely empty before we got there. And we completely filled it to the top.
Oh my goodness.
Full of trash. That wasn't like, food waste, but it was cardboard and styrofoam and the packing from all of the stuff and the goods that were shipped to us, and cable parts and waste and all sorts of stuff like that. So she comes over, and I meet with her and the head engineer, and she's just irate. She is furious. I mean, literally incensed, like I, murdered her dog because I threw trash in the dumpster.
Or recycling?
Yeah, well, let's see, for me it was trash, but for her it was like, no, you mingled the cardboard with the styrofoam, and you mingled and not only that, there's that pink foam rubber stuff that everything comes packed into these electronic parts. And she was just irate, and I should have known better. And I was, of course, really apologetic. Yeah, this is a big deal. I mean, it's against the law in California to throw away cardboard. You can't throw away cardboard, it has to be recycled. And it was a big deal, and she was all upset. And I was like, really accommodating. And I was like, well, yes, exactly. The loading dock.
I'm from Kentucky, I usually just burn it.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, don't worry about it, I'll make it right. What do you need to do? And she's like, well, I have to charge you for this. And I was like, well, how much is it going to cost to dump the dumpster? I figured a little worse that could happen if they bill me for a dumpster. In Texas, it's like $383 to get a dumpster dumped. This is $1,300 to dump this dumpster. I said, well, why is it $1,300? Because they have to then take it and sort it. They're going to bill me for sorting all the dumpster. I said, well, then I'll sort it. Well, you can't do that because our people do all the sorting. And I said, and at this point, the engineer was kind of feeling sorry for me because he was like, okay, well, Ron's always been, whenever there's a problem, Ron's always made good and fixed the problem. So he's like, well, what does he need to do to make you happy? And she goes, well, I will roll, she rolls her eyes, she goes, I'll get my people to roll you over some of these big, huge blue bins that are on wheels, and you can segregate the stuff.
So racial.
She goes, cardboard goes in the cardboard bin only, and then we have these big boxes that we wrap with plastic.
Why didn't they give them to you to start with, if this was such a big deal?
Yeah, well, I was supposed to have informed of this, but the guy who was hired us never did. So.
Okay.
And honestly, we've been out there for a decade working in this place, and we've always just thrown stuff in the dumpster.
Okay.
But
New rules.
we never filled it before, so I guess, she saw it.
Look inside it.
So she said, well, I'll send some people over with some dumps, some bins, and you guys can have your people empty this. Well, the people.
Your people.
My team. Yeah, the Tech Time Group's workforce consisted of me and Steve.
And they are, at this point,
It's 11:10 a.m. and he has to leave at noon.
and they're the crippled stage.
We're in the hobbling motion.
Yeah.
So I looked at her and I said, don't worry about it, I'll do whatever you need me to do to make this right. So if she brings you get the bins over, I'll separate it all out. So I immediately dialed Steve on the cell phone. I said, Steve,
Ray,
we're here.
Ray.
I'm in West Building. I said, you got to be over here as fast as you can get over here. Come on over to this loading dock, the green dock, red dock. We'll meet you there. Okay. Well, his comes over really quickly. And he's a little winded because he comes running over from the other building. And I said, we have like 45 minutes now to empty this dumpster and separate everything and crush all these boxes down, break them all down, and separate everything.
You and me?
So these bins, these rolling bins are, I'd say, about twice the size of this table in length, and they're about 5-6 feet tall, and they're kind of sloped, and they have this kind of a rolly, tippy, kind of a rolling wheel thing that they sit on, little dolly. So they're not exactly the stablest things on the planet. And so this is just so amazing about Steve. Most of the guys you work with, you'd say, okay, we got to empty this dumpster. I didn't have to tell him to do anything. I was like, okay, Steve, we got to empty this dumpster. He just like dives into this dumpster, leaps off and jumps into this dumpster, and starts throwing the boxes out. So he's throwing them up on the loading dock. And I'm crushing them and stamping on them, which is
There's
really
big
great for me.
staples in these
Oh,
boxes.
these are some serious boxes, let me tell you. Heavy duty cardboard boxes and bins. And they're all packed with this stupid pink foam that they ship all this stuff in. We have to pull all that, so we throw a huge pile of pink stuff. So we have like literally 40 minutes to empty this whole thing. So we are flying, throwing all this stuff out as fast as he's throwing them, trying to crush them, and we make a big huge pile of foam. Plus, by the way, buy styrofoam is against the law in San Francisco. You can't even have styrofoam. She asked me, "Do you have styrofoam? You have styrofoam?" Because it's like that's some evil from the Hades, gates of Hades. I'm like, no styrofoam.
I wouldn't even think of it.
Styrofoam's bad. I'm thinking, what's wrong with these people? Like I said, that's what I said. Okay, that moment segue back. That's when I looked at the engineer and I looked at her and I said, if I get shipped something from a vendor that it has styrofoam, am I supposed to return it to the vendor? Okay, I probably shouldn't have said that because she gave me this look like, are you taunting me? And the engineer started to like chuckle. Like, are you an idiot? What did you do? You're not supposed to taunt her. I'm trying to help her out. You're teasing her. Like, sorry, what a stupid thing, right? No, styrofoam. I can't take these $7,000 machines out of it. So whatever. So we're throwing this stuff like a complete whirlwind, and he's got to leave for the airport, and so we're empty. He throws everything out of 30-yard dumpster. That's a big, dripping in sweat. Yeah, we're both dripping in sweat, but I'm not going anywhere. I got the rest of the day to work. He's going to be at the airport. Okay.
Oh yeah, he's a treasure to see.
He's throwing everything
Feeling
out.
bad for the guy next to him.
I know. So he crawls out of the dumpster. We're both stumping up and down, crushing these cardboard boxes, trying to cut them and flatten them. So I'm taking all these cardboard boxes as he's crushing them, that pile we started, and I'm throwing them into this bin, big huge bin. Remember again, you could put a bunch of people in there. And I'm filling it up, and it gets up near the top, and it's kind of tippy, and I'm like, so I grab a hold of the side of the big 30-yard dumpster, and I jump down inside this thing, because I knew it was going to tip over if I just jumped in. So I'm jumping up and down in this cardboard, and I flatten it down. And I crawl back out, and we fill it back again, and I crush it down. And slide that one over, bring over another bin, and filling that thing up, and it gets up to the top, and I look at, and now here's the 30-yard dumpster. Here's the bin I just filled. I'm like, I need another one, so I roll the other one over here. So now there's nothing to this would be connected to. So I'm standing on the loading dock, and I look and I go, Steve, quick, grab my hand. I'm thinking,
Of course, I'm thinking he wants to really crush this down.
he's gotta know. So he grabs my hand, and I turn to go jump into the dumpster, and I'm like leaping, and I suddenly realize he's jumping with me. Have you ever been in an accident? You know how things really slow down? And you're like, what the heck are you doing? I'm saying to myself, my brain's going, seriously? He's jumping with me? He's stabilized me if he's jumping with me! So we're leaving it there and I look up and I'm like, my face must have said like, what the hell? He's looking at me like, I'm not supposed to do this? That's what you wanted, didn't you? I was like, really? I thought you wanted me to do this. And we're playing this all happening because it's the fastest the brain can move. It all took like half a second. So we're playing and we hit the dumpster, into the dumpster tips over, we go flying out, it's all over the nice, really clean dumpster driveway. Where all the trash gets dumped for like 6 years.
It's illegal, but cardboard on the ground.
On the ground!
With pink foam next to it.
I really thought I was gonna wet my pants. Oh, I laughed so hard I thought, that's priceless.
And they're holding hands.
They were holding hands, and they're both laughing. I looked at Steve and I said, okay, if I'm ever on a cliff, and I said, quick, Steve! I said, I need to clarify what I want you to do. Because clearly you are so committed to whatever the heck I'm doing. You are right there with me.
Fortunately, you were in the right city to be holding hands.
Yeah.
Lucky the lady didn't come back there seeing you two rolling on the
Uh,
ground.
So
Oh,
there
my
was
goodness.
two, put the plates in. Where were you guys?
We were up on a loading
You
dock.
were on the
Yeah,
dock.
the
We
bins
jumped
are
into it,
coming
and
in.
then
You
the
both
bins
handed
And they're on
them
wheels,
in.
you
into the
know, so
dumpsters.
they're-
Of course, the dumpster's not exactly standing. Flipped over. So we had a really, really good laugh just before he left.
Oh my God. But you made
You
it.
made the plane.
So
Yeah,
what did
well,
you
we
do
got
with
it. We
the
got it
pink
all
foam?
done. We got it all done, and
You
then.
didn't get hurt. That's
What
good.
did you do with the styrofoam?
Did you bring it as your
I
carry-on?
Buried it under
No,
cardboard?
okay, yeah, I took the styrofoam to another loading dock.
Oh.
There they were looking, and I hid it in amongst their other stuff and buried it.
Yep.
And then the other trash. And then
That's
filled-
Bob's. That's Bob's dumpster over there.
I took care of mine.
No styrofoam.